Hello guys, Fru here. Welcome to today's presentation. So in today's presentation, we are going to be looking at a term and coming up with a definition for that term, and that is cloud native. So this is very interesting term that you probably have heard about. We know the world is moving fast and fast and fast into the cloud. A lot of organizations, when it comes to computing, when it comes to data, when it comes to solutions in general or services in general, are looking at the cloud. So it's really a very important transformation we're seeing. And now you will hear of the term cloud native, maybe from a vendor, from someone trying to sell something to you, or you attended an event and someone talked about cloud native in there, and you're saying to yourself, all right, I know what the cloud is, all right? I mean, we already know what the cloud is, but this whole thing of cloud native, what does that mean, all right? What does it mean to be a native of the cloud? So it's very interesting, and I want to go through this today with some definitions. Now, my definition or my explanation of the definition might be a little bit different from what you would see, out there in the World Wide Web, all right? Because people have a lot of opinions, and as you can imagine, when it comes to trying to sell something to somebody, terms then begin to lose their meanings, all right? Cloud native can mean something to one person, and it can mean something to another person. So I want to kind of break down all of those confusions and go down into the heart of what it means to be cloud native. So this is going to be a no bullshit kind of explanation, excuse the French there, so we can understand what exactly cloud native is. And to do that, we need to know two things. What is cloud? What is native? So we know what cloud is, all right? For most people, we already know what cloud is. So we're not going to be defining what the cloud is. Now, the second piece is we know what a native is, all right? If you look at the dictionary, or if you just want to use your imagination on what a native is, let's say you assume that this is a globe, a square, right? The globe is not a square, but let's just assume that the globe is a square, and you live on this side of the globe, and then on this other side you have a bunch of people that live on this side of the globe, and you were to move and travel here, and now you're here, and this person is a native of this area. You can say this person is a native of this area. The red is a native of this area. Well, why are they a native of that area? It's because they were born in that area, right? This is where they live, in that area. This is their home. They did not move from here to here, right? They were just here by themselves. So a native is somebody born in the cloud. I'm going ahead of myself here. A native is somebody who was born in a particular region and they reside in that region. All right, so that is what the definition of a native in this case would be. If you have this region, if I was born here and you don't have to live there necessarily, but if I was born there and I exist there and I go by the principles of this area, and this is what I know, and I follow the rules and regulations of this place, I am a native of this area, of the red area. All right, so let's bring this into the cloud and see what it means to be cloud native. So if you think about the cloud being this big circle, which we have on our screen, there are a lot of moving pieces now within the cloud, right? The biggest one, and I'll use the big example here, would be, let's just assume that the cloud in this case might be AWS, all right? Or it could be, choose any one of your favorite clouds, Azure, GCP, Google, right? They all have versions of the cloud. And all of these providers, they have services which constitute what we consider the cloud. And if you don't know what that is, I have a video about what cloud computing is. Just check out that video. I think it'll be helpful for some background information. So, but these providers, they have services. So if you take AWS as an example, if you go into their system, they have S3, all right? They have Redshift. They have EC2, right, for compute, S3 for storage, EC2 for compute, Redshift for database. They have SQS, SNS, all right, and many other services that they provide within their cloud infrastructure. All right, they have a lot of services that they provide within their cloud infrastructure for someone to use. Dynamo, DB as an example, Beanstalk. I can keep going on and on. so EBS and more. I can go on and on with all the services that a platform like AWS will provide for their cloud. And same thing with Azure, right? Azure has their own versions, right? They don't have S3, they have block storage, right? They have ADLS, Gen 1, Gen 2, and they have all the things that would be the equivalent on the Azure side. So, I'll use AWS as an example, but this explanation will work for Azure or Google as well. So assuming that this is the ecosystem that has been provided or that is provided by these cloud solutions, and you were an entrepreneur, all right, and you want to build your solution, and you say, all right, I want my solution to be cloud native. So you go into this piece of this cloud, right? You go in here and you build your solution where you leverage S3 for storing files, all right, and then you leverage EC2 for compute resources, and then you leverage SQS for like the simple queue service, and then you also leverage SNS for the notifications and such, right? Simple notification service, and maybe you leverage recognition for AI and machine learning. And what is happening here is you built your service or you built your app, all right? But that app is leveraging all the services from the cloud, all right? So this app in this case is what would we consider a cloud native app, all right? Because it's built with services and born in the cloud. So this is what cloud native would be, all right? So this will be a completely cloud native app. So if someone comes to you and say, hey, look at this amazing product we have, look at this amazing app or this amazing solution, well, we are cloud native, all right? Come with us. This is what you want to look at to say, really, what do you mean? What do you mean by your cloud native? Are you leveraging cloud solutions for that? And that will be a cloud native app, all right? And not every app is a cloud native. There are a lot of people out there that are using a lot of marketing gimmicks to claim to be a cloud because everybody wants to be part of the cloud bandwagon and doing things that are not necessarily cloud native, but they just call themselves, well, we're a cloud native app. But in reality, what they're doing is, and I'll show here a different example. Let's assume that you had your app here outside of the cloud, right? This is on-prem, right? And this app, you leverage MySQL as an example, right? You install your app on MySQL. You run some Java code on that app, right? And you do some other things in there, like that once you run the app, it writes to a file system, right? And that file system is running on Linux, right? And this app, you have all of that, right? The app is working on-premise, right? By on-premise, this is referring to outside the cloud. And then all of a sudden, you hear that, well, I don't want to have an on-premise app. Everybody's saying that, all right, I want a cloud app. Can this be a cloud app? And you decide that, well, one way to do that is you just come up to EC2, right? EC2, and you ask for, you spin up a server or a machine there, right? Like a Linux server on EC2, right? You spin up an EC2 server because here, this is Linux. Remember, this app is running on Linux. Let's call this app 2. So app 2 is running on Linux. So, and this was running on-prem. So and it had all the services in there. You decide that, all right, I'm just gonna come to Amazon, request for an EC2 machine because that's in the cloud, and then just put my app 2 in there, all right, and just run it in that EC2 machine, because you can still get the Linux and Java and install MySQL and whatever it is you want in there. And once you do that, you expose it and you start calling it a cloud native app, all right? This would be wrong. This would be just absolutely wrong, all right? You can call it a cloud app if you want, and there's a lot of debate that people are having around what is cloud native and what is not, and where does the boundary stand. By the definition I'm going with here, I think it's even a stretch to call it a cloud app, but let's just assume that, okay, we want to give the benefit of the doubt and call it a cloud app. But it's definitely not cloud native. We cannot be using the native point of view in this kind of discussion, because it wasn't built natively in the cloud using native cloud solutions and systems and capabilities. All right. So app 2, which we've seen here, this app 2 is an app. It lives in the cloud, and we're not going to deny that. All right. No one is saying that if you are a vendor, if you are a developer, or if you are a system, you've built this app that used to work on-prem, because that's where we all were before, and now no one is gonna hold you at fault for bringing that to the cloud and trying to run it in the cloud, and exposing it that way. But it's just not going to be legitimate to call it a cloud native app, because what you've just done is put a band-aid around it and you're running it in the cloud. And it's not bad. It's absolutely, again, I have to be very, very transparent on this. It's not a bad thing necessarily to do it, depending on what it is you're doing. It might be the best choice for you to just do it that way, all right? But there are other apps that are leveraging, cloud native solutions to only cloud native solutions, all right? To build the app from scratch in the cloud. Those would be cloud native apps. So that's what the cloud native app would be. So hopefully this educates and empowers you and give you a tool in your tool belt to start being able to pay attention when somebody is, whipping up the term, well, we're a cloud native app, look at us and how amazing we are. And you look at it and say, all right, what does your stack look like? What's happening underneath? And they explained it to you, well, we're just running into EC2 machines. Well, that's not cloud native, right? You've just simply taken something and just running an EC2 machine. Cloud native is if you're using cloud native apps. And I would just leave this by plugging in a little bit of an app that I was thinking about that when making this video, which is www.threelly.com. It's an extension on Chrome available on YouTube. So Threelly is THREELLY.com. That I would consider the cloud native app. It's an extension to index videos and analyze videos and display that right within your Chrome browser. You can go check that out on the website and install the extension on Chrome, because we're leveraging a couple of services from the cloud, right? It's a completely cloud-based app, leveraging some services from Amazon, leveraging some services from Google, some services from Azure, to run that complete app, and you can index any video with that particular app. All right, that would be a cloud native app. Now, if I used to have something on premise and I just copy to the cloud, I don't think I'll have the right to call it a cloud native app. All right. So this is, I think the industry should start giving cloud native passports, right? It's just like if I'm gonna leave from my country to another country, you kind of need a passport to get those privileges. Yeah, at some point, if this confusion continues and people are not being held to account and misusing these terms for marketing purposes, maybe there should be some body to validate and say, hey, you gotta stop selling it or positioning your product as a cloud native product, because it's not. All right, and being able to set those boundaries and those guardrails to validate what is truly cloud native and what is just on-premise solution that has been ported over to the cloud. All right, so guys, there you have it through here with a quick definition of what cloud native is. I hope this was helpful. I hope this provided some value for you. You now have some ammunition to go out to validate products, to understand what is cloud native and what is not. What I did not do in this video is to say one is right or one is wrong. That's not the case. All right, if the technology works and solves the problem efficiently, then it works. All right, but if we have to have terms, let's understand what those terms mean and be able to use that to help ourselves and to help the companies we all work for and to solve more problems. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Share this with somebody that might get value out of it. If you have a topic, any topic, data related, technology related, inspiration, whatever it is, you want me to make a video about, make some explanations, don't hesitate to leave that in the comment section below, and I will see what I can do about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.